Morning, folks. Camino 2023 was beautiful, amazing, breathtaking, remarkable, all that. But that doesn't mean that there's been nothing to complain about. So the real meaning, the real value of the Camino reveals only at the very end, when you arrive at Plaza Obradoiro in front of the cathedral. You get flooded with endorphins and emotions. Everything falls off. All the loose threads come together. All the loose ends combine. And in an instant, you have a beautiful Camino crochet blanket. Crochet blanket, what the heck? And that's why I say it was an awesome, beautiful Camino. Although I complained by times. But if I would have shot the videos, would have taken them back home, all the complaining wouldn't be included. And that's why Camino videos of other people are so beautiful and positive, and my videos are a little grumpy. But walking Camino is a development. It's not always a rose garden. There's a lot of situations that annoy you, and don't tell me that you never complain while walking on the Camino. I don't believe you. Anyway, some things that annoyed me regarding albergues. Now, one word to Orison. The food is still good, but it's not awesome anymore. And the albergue itself has seen better days. Toilets without a seat, and very basic dormitories. I don't know, man. I still love this place. And next time I will also be there. Come on. 45 euros. Now, I didn't talk about Rothesvalles yet, did I? It was amazing. I was there for my fourth time, and I never experienced anything like that. People are lining up at the reception desk, like at the pilgrim's office at Santiago. I've been waiting there 45 minutes, and I was fortunate. Other people behind me, at least 2 hours of waiting. And if you have to take into account that, let's say 230 beds, okay, it's a lot, but only one person at the reception desk. And you know, it was a very shitty weather, was fucking cold, wet to the bones, and then they line you up for 1 hour and more, freezing, shivering, no way, no place to sit down. This is ridiculous. This is respectless. This is not pilgrim style. So for me, Orison is a total rip-off, and Rothesvalles is a shame. Albergue El Peregrino in Ajera was Renata's first try to make a reservation via booking.com. Or was not her fault. Now, I don't want to say it's the worst albergue I've ever been to, the second worst. The worst one was Albergue Santa Maria in Santa Maria. I think it is on Camino Finisterre. So, in case you go there, be warned. I'm not judgmental, or maybe I am, but when we arrived at the albergue, the hospitaleros looked like, let's say it that way, the body didn't have any contact with water for weeks. And so looked the albergue. It was the first albergue where I was scared to take a shower, and I didn't. The beds, standard rubber mattresses, but this time no sheets. And I was quite happy that I took my pillowcase with me. A real lifesaver. I don't know, everything dirty and sticky, and the fun part is they even serve a community dinner. Now, if you're on that trip, you have my respect. Now, another thing that annoyed me pretty hard was the pricing. Not the pricing in general, it was kind of normal, but especially between Burgos and León. The entire week on the Mesetas was hilarious. Let's talk about prices on the Camino. And I do not want to talk about the beer for €6 that we paid yesterday in Sahagún. Let's talk about accommodation. Now, 2 days ago, at the albergue Los Canarios in Casadilla, we paid €36 for 2 bunk beds. Yesterday in Sahagún, we paid for a private room with 2 beds, own bathroom, 38. €2 more. Now today at Reyejos, we pay a whopping €46 for 2 bunk beds. Don't know what kind of albergue that is. I expect some slaves carrying us upstairs with a foot massage. We'll see. Last time I walked the French way, 2021, paid for a cerveza grande, €2, €2.50. Now, cheapest one was €3.50. Yeah, Sahagún, €6. Now back in Bogoranero was €4.80. If you can afford it, no problem. But I think the days where he said you can easily survive with €30 a day, they're gone. They won't come back. Yesterday, where have we been? Reyejos. We went into the bar Bodega Gil. I had 2 beers, 2 empanadas for, now let's say it that way. When she told me the price, I understood €10.80. It's okay. Well, in fact, it was not €10.80. It was 18 euros. 2 beers, 2 empanadas. I don't know. So, on the other hand, if some bar charges us €4.80 for a beer, and you want to justify that with inflation and whatever the fuck. And then you come to Relejos, where I paid the 18 euros, and go to the Elvis bar. Elvis, for years, my absolute hero and a legend. If you don't go to the Elvis bar in Relejos, it's your own fault. Anyway, 2 beers, 4 euros. And he refused to take any kind of tip. 4 euros. So do not try to justify that with inflation or rising costs. It's not. And meanwhile, I'm thinking that they have double pricing. One price for locals and one rip-off price for pilgrims. Because what can we do? When we get into a town, we are tired, hungry, thirsty, need a bed, we will pay any price because we have no other chance. It's a disgrace. Such a shame. Now another thing, I don't use hiking poles because I don't feel like needing them. Anyway, many people do, and it's okay. I don't care if you walk with poles or don't. What I care about, how you handle your poles, especially when it affects me. Funny story, just walking behind my Camino buddy Renata, and she was walking with the poles, not using them, but dragging them behind, and she stuck her pole between my legs, and I made a nice jump onto the street, scratched my hand, hurt my knee. So guys, if you don't use your walking poles, strap them onto your back, please. Don't endanger your fellow pilgrims. If you walk with hiking poles and you feel good with them, you do you. It's none of my business. I don't care. And don't tell me in the comments why it's good to walk with poles or for whatever reason you use your poles. I don't care. I know all of the reasons and it's absolutely fine. But I don't know if you know. For hiking poles, you can buy rubber or plastic caps for your tips when you walk on asphalt. And if they're worn, you can replace them. Now, if you're walking with your metal tips on asphalt, it goes like clickety 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 click. I understand if you walk with those poles, you don't notice that. But if you don't, and you have for 5, 10, 15 minutes this clickety 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 behind you, you get angry, you get aggressive, because this is highly annoying. So please, when you walk on asphalt, either lift up your walking poles because you don't need them on the street, or use rubber and plastic tips. For heaven's sake. And on the other hand, when people are on the way with their walking poles, hiking poles whatsoever, they are very light-headed on the way, especially when they are in places with many pilgrims in a small space, like in a cafe. Just 10 minutes ago, a lady almost stabbed me with her hiking poles because they don't understand, or they don't take into account that they are more than a meter long, and when they put them under their arm, there might be someone behind them. This is dangerous. Now, if you're like me, you know what I'm talking about. When I get up in the morning, I need a coffee. If I don't have one, better not talk to me. Anyway, when you walk the Camino, most of the times, or many times, you either have to wait until 8 a.m. or you start walking without coffee. But then you're at risk to get no coffee for hours. Good morning, everybody. Leaving Zubiri, almost 7 a.m. The cafe with breakfast opening at 6, still closed. So yeah, we gotta leave without breakfast, without coffee. Good start. Yesterday, a lady in a restaurant told us, by the way, we went there at 5:30. Says kitchen open until 6. They said no, kitchen is closed. But she said we can come for breakfast today, 6:30. Now, we've been there at around 7. 5 to 7, let's say it that way. Was closed. And we walked around a little, and we met a lady on the bridge, and she said, no, it opens at 7. À la minute. It didn't. We waited there for several minutes. Then a guy showed up and said, no, today is closed. What the fuck? Now we're leaving Lara Soigna after 6-something kilometers. The only cafe in the town is closed. By the way, it's Thursday. It's not a bank holiday or weekend, whatever. Now, when you watch my Camino videos, most of the time it's dry, no rain at all. But don't get confused. I took out my camera only when it stopped raining. So whenever it was dry, was only for some seconds or minutes. And especially the first 2 weeks, weather was miserable. Not so many videos so far. It was raining all day. It's the first 5 minutes with no rain. It's amazing. Wow. First sunshine today. I remember 2 or 3 weeks ago, a lady wrote in my comments, oh, big heat wave in Spain. Protect yourself. Sunscreen. We are Northern Europeans are not used to that. Now I'll tell you what. Every single day, if it's warm, we have 10 degrees. Usually it's 8. And in combination with rain, you can imagine. Yes, raining again. No, not now, for the last some seconds. Anyway, starting. When you're on a Camino and you need a weather forecast, stick your head out of the goddamn window. It's more reliable. But apart from all the complaining, was a beautiful Camino. beautiful people, mind-wise. Sorry. Anyway, and what I can tell is, this Camino, I don't know, I could take the Camino spirit with me like never before. I am relaxed as hell. Nothing bothers me at all. It's amazing. Anyway, what do you think? You complain while walking the Camino? Or you don't? You're a liar. So far, stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned. One Camino.